Hello, spiritual, successful, badass women who are looking to have better relationships and more passionate and powerful partnerships. I want to talk with you today about this thing that oftentimes happens where we accidentally send a mixed message. So if you ever struggle with getting the right quality of men to approach you online or in person, or if you meet guys and you hang out for a few dates or you date for like maybe even a month or two, but it never leads to commitment, then you might have a blind spot. And so it really stinks, to be opening your heart and wanting love and to be looking for love. And maybe you've been looking for years, maybe you've been looking for months, maybe you've been looking for decades, but it just doesn't feel like it's happening. Oftentimes we will shut down, we'll numb out, we will, go party with our girlfriends, but then feel kind of alone because we don't have someone to come home to. Or we'll get super wrapped up in our work and we'll be like, oh my God, a year, 5 years just flew by and I'm 5 years older and I don't necessarily have the quality of love that I want in my life. So you are most likely great at making things happen in the other parts of your life, but just haven't figured out how to make love work for you because you don't want to settle. A lot of women are like, yeah, I could be in a relationship in 2 seconds if I just wanted any relationship, but that's not what it's about anymore. It's about enhancing your life and enriching your life through a really amazing partnership with an incredible person, hi Pamela, who really wants to make things happen with you and for you and together. So oftentimes, women will get stuck in this trap of reading a book about something, reading a book about vulnerability or reading a book about flirting or about femininity, or you might watch blogs or videos or do things that, give you a little piece of information. But then when it comes to implementing it, it can go haywire. And oftentimes we don't have any way to get feedback, right? Like we might think that we're going out looking cute, we're putting on our lipstick, we're getting our makeup done, or we're having, doing our makeup, we're feeling like we're looking really fresh and looking amazing, but then we go out and no one approaches us and we think, what the heck? Like, what am I doing wrong? Or maybe you go online and you swipe through a bunch of profiles and you think that you have a great profile, but then you're not getting the sort of messages and the sort of interest that you really want. And how bad does it suck to spend all of that time, getting ready both online and in person and feeling like it's not going anywhere? And most likely your friends are telling you things like, oh, it's okay, he'll come when you least expect it, or, it's okay, you can't hurry love. And it might feel comforting for like a moment when we hear those messages, but then it can feel super frustrating. Like, well, if all I'm supposed to do is just wait, like I've been waiting a long time. Where is he? Most women are like, where is my person? I just want my person. And I have so much compassion for that because I spent about 10 years in between my first marriage and my second marriage just aching and longing and wanting my person, but getting in my own way. And I'm going to tell you in a little bit why that might be happening. But I want to give a quick example first. About a year and a half after I got divorced, one of my guy friends said, "You are so hard to read." And I thought, what are you talking about? Like, I'm a good communicator, or at least I thought I was. I'm direct. When I like someone, I feel like I have no problem showing it. But then I peeled back the onion. I got kind of reflective with myself and thought about it. And I realized he's totally right. Like, I'm absolutely sending mixed messages. And I'm going to share with you some of the top mixed messages that I hear or intuit that women are sending that they might not even realize. And so I'm going to tell you about the, broccoli in your teeth, so to speak, when it comes to dating, the thing that's getting in your way or maybe sending a signal that you don't necessarily want to send to attract the right sort of person and to create a great relationship. So I've been there, and a lot of women that I work with, they don't realize that they're sending this mixed message either. And what we want is we want to be open and congruent and sending the right signals. And I'm not even just talking about flirting, I'm talking about energetically. Like, are we aligned and are we congruent? Because sometimes we will have like a big thing that we need to deal with and we've got to just kind of brush it under the rug. And that big thing might be heartbreak, might be trauma, it might be a limiting belief or negative mindset, and all of those things can keep you stuck even though you feel like you're doing all the right things. So the only action that really works is when it's inspired and intelligent action. Otherwise, we're just kind of running in circles. So let's talk about those mixed messages and why this might be happening. So the mixed messages I oftentimes hear are, I really want partnership, I really want commitment. But deep down, underneath, a lot of times the women who say that they actually aren't showing up in a way that's committed. So they're either not showing up to dates, maybe ghosting, or they're waiting a really long time to get back to the guy, or they're saying they want commitment, but they're not actually really changing anything in their life in order to get there. Everything is just, I'm just kind of going with the flow, and if it happens, it happens, and I really want that, but then they're not actually sticking with it, taking action, getting help. So that's the number one thing. The number one mixed message is saying to the universe that you want a committed partnership, but then actually backing off or shying away. And that leads to the second thing, is that a lot of times there's a mixed message of a very confident woman actually is not maybe feeling that confident in her love life. So she might feel like a total rock star, badass when it comes to her business or her career, and she has a lot of clarity and confidence there. But when it comes to being confident and bold and courageous in your love life and actually sharing how you feel and showing up and being vulnerable and being seen as someone that is in a place of desire, what I mean by that is sometimes we're afraid to let a guy know that we like him because we don't know how to do it in a way that feels feminine. And when we've done it in a way that's direct in the past, it's backfired, which is totally true. But oftentimes we're feeling really confident in our work and we're feeling kind of insecure in our personal life, but we're just hiding it. We're masking it. So we've got this mask of, I don't need anyone. I'm cool. I'm confident. I've got this. But we don't necessarily have the skill or the experience or the expertise or the guidance or the tools in order to really back up that confidence. And so it can come across as detached and aloof and misindependent and not in necessarily a sexy way. So the first, mistake that I see, or not mistake really, but mixed message, a missed opportunity, is when you say you want commitment, but then you're not showing up as being committed and consistent in your life. And then the second one is showing up with a fake confidence and thinking that you're sending the signal that you're a rock star and that you've got everything covered. And in some ways you might be, but in your personal life, it's probably sending a signal of, I don't need anyone, I've got it. And the worst part of that is underneath a lot of insecurity and a lot of pain. And then the third mixed message that I oftentimes will see is a woman playing the damsel in distress and saying, oh, I really need a guy, or I liked him so much and he broke my heart, or, I can't help it, I'm just really attracted to him even though he treated me so poorly. And that sends a mixed message, the opposite of the second one. That sends the message that you are helpless, that you don't have control of your life, that you don't have responsibility for your life, and that life is happening to you instead of happening for you. And that's not actually the truth. Life is happening for you, and you have total choice, and you have absolute power to attract an amazing partner and create a great relationship. But you're sending this message of helplessness to the universe and to the men that you might meet. And there are certain men that want to be the rescuer, but when they find out that you actually are really capable in a lot of parts of your life, they might be like, oh, well, okay, this isn't what I wanted. I had wanted someone to rescue. They may not be able to handle the fact that you're actually strong. And the other pattern, the vice versa of that happens too, where a man might be attracted to this so-called confidence or this mask of confidence. That's part of the second mixed message, is showing up really confident when actually you might not be confident. And so the pattern that can sometimes arise is a man is either attracted to a woman's helplessness if she's playing the damsel in distress subconsciously or showing up really needy or feeling powerless, or a man can sometimes be attracted to a woman who's really powerful but then not have space for her vulnerability. And I want you to be with a partner who can respect and appreciate your power, but also hold space for you and be emotionally attuned and supportive when you're in a place of needing that support and being open and being vulnerable. So those are the three mixed messages that I see. Number one, not being committed, wanting committed partnership but not truly being committed to making a change in this part of your life and getting support and sticking with practices and accountability and all of that. The second one is showing up in your love life the same way you show up in your work, with a lot of confidence and a lot of powerful energy, but it's not backed up by actually the skills and the habits and the tools to stay in your feminine and to have a balance in that way. And so you might be showing up really confident in your dating life, but then deep down be kind of feeling insecure. And then the third one is showing up the opposite way, damsel in distress, feeling totally helpless, which just keeps you stuck because only you have the responsibility to change this, and nothing changes until you change. So we can get rid of those mixed messages and send beautiful, congruent, clear messages to men, to the universe, and in general to get everything that we want and much, much faster. So things that keep us from being congruent, I mentioned trauma, heartbreak, just a lack of skills and knowledge because no one really told us how to date, and modern dating has just gotten harder and harder compared to 20, 30 years ago. So the other things that can kind of get in our way is just shyness, feeling insecure, not having the practice with these tools. Other things that can get in our way of being congruent is not having a higher level perspective. So if you've been looking to, a book on the 5 things to say in a text, but you don't have a higher level perspective of how that applies to you and your particular life and your particular experiences and desires and needs and wants, then there can be some weird interference. It's like you're trying on a jacket that's 2 sizes too small and you're adopting that strategy, but without it implemented according to you and yourself and your particular life. So just imagine that you were with someone who absolutely cherished you, adored you, respected your power, but also held space for you and allowed you to be vulnerable. Someone who approached you in real life or messaged you online and courted you at a process that was nice, not too fast, not too slow, and that you not only had that guy, but you had lots of people that were interested in you because you were grounded in who you were. You'd healed from these patterns and you were sending clear messages so that you never had to worry again about someone saying, oh, you're intimidating, or you're really hard to read, or you send them mixed messages, or it feels kind of hot and cold. Because sometimes this can happen because we have an anxious attachment style. I'm not going to go into that too much on this video, but an anxious attachment style is when you kind of rush in and rush out and rush in and rush out. And it can be associated with a lot of anxiety or insecurity or hot and cold. And especially if you're attracting men who are hot and cold, this is something that you really want to work through and heal. So imagine that you've gone through this healing journey. You are with a partner who totally loves you and adores you and respects you. You're taking trips together. You're having awesome communication, verbally and non-verbally. You're flirting. You're having great passion, even if you've been together for years. And you're with someone that you just can't get enough of, not in an unhealthy way, but in a powerful way. There's a pull, there's a draw, there's a connection. And imagine never having to worry again about getting to commitment. How awesome would that be, right? Like to be like, nope, I got it. I know how to get to commitment. I'm not worried about a man wanting, to spend more time with me and become exclusive and become boyfriend, girlfriend and propose. Like imagine having multiple men that are wanting to be exclusive with you because you have so much that you're offering them and they're contributing so much to you and they just can't get enough because you're in your power, you're in your feminine power and radiance and you're sending clear messages. So typically, and I'm not trying to be gender biased, but typically men take a little bit longer to hear, to respond, to process. They're just a little bit slower in terms of communication, in terms of understanding. And so as a woman, it means really staying in your power, knowing your worth, staying grounded, and knowing how to keep this signal going. You might think, oh, I made eye contact with him for 1 second. It's enough. No, girl, that is not enough. You have to make eye contact for longer. That's just a simple little example of how if you make eye contact for a second and you look away, you might think, oh, I was flirting. He's going to think, oh, she doesn't like me. She took 1 look and she looked away. He doesn't realize that it's because you were shy, because you weren't able to hold that and be congruent with your signals. They got kind of mixed in the way. So imagine not even having to worry about dating again for the rest of your life because you're just in a great partnership because you've mastered this skill and this tool. But here's the deal. You don't want to do this alone. You don't want to try to do this just by watching this video or, like I said, reading a book or a blog, is because it needs to be information that you get feedback on. This stuff you have to practice. Can you imagine saying, oh yeah, I'm just going to become a great swimmer, and you go into the ocean or the pool one time? It would never work. You've got to perfect that practice. And the same thing comes with dating and relationships. I really believe that this is the new frontier for spiritual growth and personal development, is our relationship life, because we've maximized so much with productivity and our economy and our businesses and our careers and our time and all of those things. But there's this huge bucket of skills and knowledge and tools that we have to get better at so we can have more productive and lasting and healthier relationships, not just for us, but for our friends, our family, our kids, our community, and all of that. And how powerful would the world be if we knew how to have healthy communication, sending the right signals and having congruent messaging? We don't have to worry about all this guesswork of what did he mean or what did she say, or all this confusion that happens. What if that could just, the clouds could part and it could just be sunshine and so much easier in our relationships. And when we have that level of ease, we can co-create. We can create amazing freaking things for this world. You and your partner can go into business. You can do a nonprofit or do a cool art project. You can create a family. You can do so many amazing things. And And that's only possible when we make relationship easy and co-creative instead of destructive. So let's get out of the cycle of destruction and into the cycle of creation. And that starts with us taking responsibility for the messages that we send and the signals that we send, and being congruent within ourselves between our desires and our longings, our head, our heart, our body, our masculine and feminine within us. There's so much room for integration. So if you ever find that you struggle with integrating your head, your heart, your body, with your masculine and feminine energy, with sending the right signals without overwhelming someone, with flirting like a champ, but not feeling desperate, feeling like it's integrated and congruent with who you are, then I would love to talk. I'd love to help you get through some of these blocks. So we offer 45-minute Breakthrough to Love sessions, and during those calls, you'll get total clarity on what's been going on, where maybe you're showing up inconsistently, the blind spots that you have, the broccoli in your teeth, so to speak, that's happening in your dating life. And then what it is that you really want. What's that co-creative, additive, enriching, powerful partnership that you want to create? And if we can help you get there, we will totally tell you and show you how, and we'll talk to you about our program. But if not, it's cool. It's fine. We'll send you some links to books or some other places you can go to get what you need when it comes to love, because it's my mission to end the suffering of loneliness and abuse and create powerful partnerships for every woman and every man. Like, the time is now. This is what we need, and this is what's going to advance, humanity, I truly believe. So you can sign up for those at violetlang.com/talk. We only have a few sessions each week. I have a team that works for me, and I do these calls every once in a while, but we're pretty busy. We have many, sometimes 10, 12 people applying every day for one of these spots. So go ahead and grab one of those spots now. You won't regret it. This will be the best 45 minutes you've ever spent on your love life, because when else do you have someone who's an expert who's just going to hold space for you and really guide you through a process of specific questions to help you get everything that you want when it comes to love. So go there now, sign up for your free Breakthrough to Love session at violetlang.com/talk. And I just want to leave you with one little nugget of inspiration, which is to think about, if I was really sending clear signals to the universe and to men or potential partners about what I wanted, what comes up for me? Is there something I'm scared of? Am I actually scared a little bit of getting into these things? And if so, you're normal. It's always scary when we make change. But on the other side of that fear is so much excitement and so much possibility. So take some time, book that breakthrough call. Think about, what is it that I'm afraid of? Am I afraid of getting everything that I ever wanted when it comes to love? Or am I afraid of self-sabotaging or something like that happening? And then take those fears. You can rip up that piece of paper, or you can just tell yourself, I'm not going to live like that anymore. I'm not going to be living under my fears. My time is now, and your time is now. So I will talk with you soon. Go ahead and book your call, and we will speak soon. Have a great day. Mwah.